it's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? So I have been meaning to do a showcase on this unit because I do have this unit rainbowed, and I feel like the easy 8 for this guy is going to come up very soon. If not, I mean, he desperately needs it because this guy did not age well whatsoever. I mean, he's decent, but compared to the rest of the Broly units, he's really struggling right now. Which is also ironic because the SA quote is trash will always be trash. I mean, Broly, man, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror before you make judgmental, phrases like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the unit itself. Again, this is the Eternal Horror Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the Extreme Physical type. One of the 70% leads from, I don't know what the release date was. I think JP was July 2016. So it's been a hot minute since he's been out, but probably one of the few units that definitely very, very much so needs an Extreme Z Awakening very soon. Alright, so let's talk about the stats a little bit. Leader skill is the physical type key plus 3 HP attack and defense increase of 70%. The super attack will cause supreme damage to enemy. The passive skill is what really hurts this guy. I mean, it's attack increase of 7,000 and attack with an additional super attack when key is 8 or more. So the secondary part of that is great. The ability to get an additional super attack when key is 8 or more. Plus, with the potential levels, you could get up to 3. That rarely happens, honestly, but you could. Now, like I said, the bad part about this unit is an attack increase of 7,000. I mean, that is not even an 100. It's not even 100% equivalent based on the conversion, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty bad overall. Definitely needs a percentage-based improvement. In terms of links, you're looking at Hardened Grudge plus 1 key, Saiyan Warrior Race is 700 to attack, Super Saiyan is 10% to attack, Saiyan Lineage plus 1 key, excuse me. Berserker is attack increase 20% when HP is 50% or below, Prepare for Battle is plus 2 key, and finally Fierce Battle is also 15% to attack. Luckily, he falls into a pretty good list of categories. Movie Bosses, Pure Saiyans, and Full Power. For this particular showcase, you will see it on the Movie Boss category. Heavily linked up with the Turles unit, so we are going to try and get him as much of a boost as possible. Now, 100% potential, the stats itself isn't bad. HP is 15,750, attack is 14,500, defense is 7,925. 12 key multiplier is also pretty good at 150%. So two things. One that really hurts this guy is again the passive skill where you only get a flat increase of 7,000 toward attack. Second thing is this guy is a pretty big liability defense-wise. Not only does he not provide himself some sort of defensive boost, but against the newer type enemies, you are looking at a pretty decent amount of damage taken, regardless of the typing. I mean, obviously with type advantage, he does a little bit better, but especially with type disadvantage, you'll see it later on against the Jiren unit, but he will get hit for a lot, and that is definitely a liability in today's age of Dokkan Battle. You definitely do want units that do have some defensive capabilities. Otherwise, you're pretty much leaving yourself wide open. Now, I'm not going to say he's as bad as, the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Broly in terms of defense, since it doesn't really reduce his defense based on the super attack, but you don't get any sort of buff whatsoever. So, against the tougher type enemies, you'll definitely see the impact of the lack of a defense, pretty much, and you'll, like I said, you'll see that throughout the video. And in terms of overall performance of this unit, I'm not saying this unit is absolutely trash. I mean, it's not. It's a decent unit, but one, you do have to understand this unit is at 100% potential, and number two, in comparison with the other Broly units available in Dokkan Battle right now, this is probably on the lower spectrum of it. At least the Super Saiyan 3 Broly unit can hit for a massive amount, depending on the amount of ki collected, you can actually do a pretty decent amount of damage without collecting too much ki. Even though he has a nuking passive, you basically go with a balanced approach where you pretty much hit the sweet spot of both offense and defense, and he does just fine. So I mean, quite honestly, this version of Broly is probably the lowest in the tier out of the group. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. Now, I mean, he's able to get attack stats upwards of, 800,000 per super attack, but, you see the other Broly, Super Saiyan Broly. That's a much newer version. Honestly, it's a different name, so you can't really equate it to the same unit, I guess, but you kind of see the comparison of the ability for the Eternal Horror Broly unit versus the Super Saiyan Broly unit from the Dragon Ball Super movie. I mean, the attack stats are completely different. Now, in this case, you finally were able to see 1 million in attack stats. That's mainly because of the help from Turles, but also the activation of the Berserker Link skill. That's 20% increase to attack based on that activating. But like I said, in comparison with that, you see this version of Broly with a much higher attack stat. And this unit also does have a high chance, I think it was, to have an additional super attack. So, in that regard, it really does suggest this guy really needs to get an upgrade. I mean, I think, with the upgrade to Easy A or Extreme Z Awakening, this guy could be one, again, a phenomenal unit. Like I said, there are a couple things that really hurt this unit and hold this unit back right now, and hopefully they'll make that adjustment. Without an absolute doubt, they really have to change the flat number of 7,000 to attack to some sort of percentage number. They really have to do that. Otherwise, I really don't want to see a flat number increase. There's no reason why they would do that. You know what I mean? Or why they should do that, I actually should say. Change it to some sort of percentage based, maybe possibly give some sort of defensive boost. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, as long as the stats itself to defense improves a little bit more than just 8,000, but it would be nice to get some sort of defensive increase. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know why they keep giving, lack of defense really for Broly units in the game. I mean, in the movies, right, this guy could pretty much tank every single attack you throw at him. I mean, it just brushes that shit off like it's nothing, you know what I mean? That should mean for something, but I don't know. It's just the way the game's been developed. Never quite understood that personally, but it would be nice to see a little bit of an upgrade toward defense a little bit. But at the very least, give him a percentage boost. Maybe update the links a little bit. I doubt that'll happen, but it would be nice. Along with that, I think pretty much everything else is fine. Obviously you want to see updates to the super attack, maybe change from Supreme to Immense. You don't necessarily need to add stuff to it. It would just be nice at the very least to see it change to immense damage. Now, for the leader skill, more than likely it'll be, 120% type deal. And then, we'll see what happens with that. But, I mean, overall, I'm not saying he's an absolute trash unit. I mean, he's decent at best, is probably the best way to put it. There's definitely a lot of room for, improvement. I think this unit could be a very good unit. Again, similar to how Janemba really just... I mean, Janemba, honestly, the Intelligence Janemba Easy A became one of the best units is probably too strong of a word, but he is absolutely useful. I mean, he's such a useful unit now. It is ridiculous how often he pretty much is a viable option. If I'm running movie bosses, I'm running Janemba on there. I mean, that's just how good he is. So maybe it really isn't an understatement to say that, he's one of the best units in my opinion. At the very least, he is definitely the most improved unit in terms of, Easy A's and Dokkan Awakens and rebirths and all that. So, I don't think that's too much of a strong statement. I think that's pretty accurate in my perspective, because I do use them a lot. Like, quite honestly, anytime like I said, anytime I'm running movie buses, he is definitely, he has a guaranteed spot because that's just how useful he is. But back to the Broly unit, I think there's opportunity for, you know, this guy to be improved to a certain extent. So I don't know to that level, but you know, I'd like to see it in a similar fashion to actually be usable again. You know what I mean? Like, he's still usable to a degree, but he's not a top pick by any choice. You know what I mean? He might be a 5th rounder kind of deal. But anyways, this is the showcase for the 100% extreme physical type legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you guys later.